Take two, mommy. That we recorded.
Yeah, that's on camera.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Queer Peer Reviews, where we review queer media, good, bad, and ugly. I'm your host, Jamie, and today with me is my co-host, Lupe.
Here at Queer Peer Reviews, we review all queer media. That includes film, music, TV shows, and anything else that have queer themes.
So, unfortunately, you got two dumb bitches in front of you today. We messed up.
We messed up. We messed up. Yes.
We were supposed to review the band Soccer Mommy, and we were both going to review a specific album from Soccer Mommy. We both listened to two separate albums of Soccer Mommy.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna both review separately both of these albums together. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be solid mess up. Soccer Mommy is an alternative singer-songwriter named Sophie Allison. A lot of her influences come from 90s grunge and rock music, and you could hear that a lot in her music. Also, she is bisexual. So, the album that I reviewed was 2022's Sometimes Forever. It's an alternative indie album, and the first song to start off the album is Bones. Bones is a song that's basically about not being truly loved authentically for the person that you are. I feel like that's a very queer theme just in general, even if that's not the intention that Sophie had with writing this song. So I relate a lot to this, just in general, relationships, friendships. That's a big theme in this album, really is that center of just really loving yourself without relying on other people. The two lines that stuck with me the most with this song was, "You make me feel like I'm poor again, your heart could use a tourniquet, and I want to know what's wrong with all the ways that I am."
Damn. That's deep. So the album that I reviewed is called Color Theory. The first song on that is called Bloodstream. I think it's fitting because the whole album kind of does a hue of colors, like the rainbow. We start off with Bloodstream, aka Red. It's basically a song about taking a look back at how your life used to be and how, through time, you start losing your innocence and how life starts getting a little bit more messed up. Something I noticed with basically all of Soccer Mommy's songs, they kind of sound like the soundtrack to some indie film, and I know you played Life is Strange, but I associated a lot of the sounds of the song with Life is Strange.
Oh my god,
yeah. And I'm not surprised if they come out with a live action version of Life is Strange. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw some Soccer Mommy in there.
That'd be really cool.
But yeah, the song basically, it's really relatable because you kind of wish you could go back to things like how they were, but unfortunately you can't.
That's a double shot of deep. So track 2 on the album that I reviewed is called With You. The line that stuck with me the most that popped out at me was said, "Being with you is all I could do, the stars and the moon can't compare." I think that's really cool. In Soccer Mommy's songs, she references a lot about the moon, the stars. I'm kind of sensing maybe she's kind of witchy in her personal life.
I kind of sense that too in mine.
Yeah. I feel like she has a lot of references to that. I might have read something somewhere where she has talked about that. I don't know if it's paganism or not, but it's just really cool to reference that visually in the music. And I really love the 90s moody guitar and the kind of cheesiness of the song. And I think that's really cool because throughout the rest of the album, once I get further into it, you don't see a whole lot of that. This is the most positive song probably on the album. This one is definitely more dark, on the dark side.
I mean, kind of going to my second song, which is Circle the Drain, it also starts with a very vibey guitar. While the song is very vibey and it is my favorite song from the album,
My favorite too.
yeah, it's a song about depression.
Yeah.
And the song Circle the Drain, it's kind of a metaphor about depression, how depression isn't an immediate okay, you're suddenly depressed now. It's kind of you're circling this drain and you could either sink immediately or you could be circling that drain for ages and ages. And one of the lyrics that stuck out to me was, "Things feel low sometimes even when everything is fine." And I think that's a perfect explanation of what depression is. Everything around you might seem fine, but you don't know the struggles that go on internally, and I'm just like, wow, Soccer Mommy knows how to make a song about depression a vibe.
Very true. And I don't know if you saw the video for that song, but she's at a skate park just like chilling while she's playing the song. And in the comment section, the one thing that I remember was somebody saying, wow, this is such a fun video for a song about dying and like depression. And I was like, yeah. Like the more deep you go into her lyrics, you really see all like the depths of like mental health and depression that she talks about. So it's a really cool song. I like that one too. All right, track 3 on Sometimes Forever is Unholy Affliction. I liked this one a lot. I loved the drums on it. The drum fill sounded really nice and choppy, while her vocals kind of sounded like in evanescence. Like, my God, what's the lead singer? I don't know what her name is. I don't remember. Wake me up. But her vocals sounded really like the lead singer of that band, and it was very dark and sinister. I remember one of the lyrics being, "Oh, taste it on my tongue." Just lots of like really captivating metaphors keep coming throughout this album about the dark part of moving on and kind of like realizing all the toxicity within either your life or the people that you surround yourself with. And you see, she makes a lot of references to that, especially in this song.
I feel like both of our albums kind of have like a lot of similarities in terms of like theme. The third song on my album is called Royal Screw Up, which I feel like is a song maybe a lot of people would definitely relate to. It talks about struggling with self-image and self-love and potentially trying to look for like the solution in potential partners. Because a lot of the, like one of the lyrics is, "Because you're a question that I thought I could solve, but you don't need solving. You're just not what I want, and I want an answer to all my problems." And then one of the other lyrics is, "I'm fake it till you make it in a can." So I feel like it's definitely a very relatable song for those who like do struggle with self-love and self-image, and like I said, like looking for that missing piece of you in somebody else to try to make yourself kind of heal, but that's not the solution.
I feel like Royal Screw Up is like my middle name. That's like a perfect song title. I don't know. I think I
say Royal Screw Up Dragon.
Yes. Track 4 on the album that I listened to is called Shotgun, which I believe is the lead single off this album. The line that came out to me the most was, "I'm a bullet in a shotgun waiting to sound." And I think the reference that she makes to that is like wanting to be heard by people and feeling like you're validated in the conversations that you have. Throughout this whole album, she's talking about all the things that, you know, like she wished that she saw in people or saw in what she was facing, and kind of like reflecting on that. It's like an inner reflection, really. So I saw that a lot in this song, just wanting to be able to just say what you mean to say instead of holding it in to benefit the other people around you. Sometimes you have to say things that are gonna hurt.
Yeah, my next song is called Night Swimming, and I don't know why, just the sound of the song, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, night swimming. Like, it just sounds like two people floating in the middle of like the ocean in the middle of the night. But this song does feel very distant, which resonates like with the theme of the lyrics, which is two people kind of growing apart over time and like starting to like just not relate to each other anymore or want the same things. One of the lyrics is, "You watched me sink beneath the water like a stone and then let me go. I came up for air and found out I was all alone. I should have known." And yeah, I don't know, that lyric just broke my heart, because it's like you kind of feel the distance growing, and then one day you notice like that person's just not there anymore. I think we've all felt that.
The next song on my album is called Newdemo, and I'm assuming it's called Newdemo because she never decided a title for the song. So it's actually the most acoustic-driven song on the album, so I'm guessing that she recorded it as a demo and never wanted it to be a full band song. And I kind of like that. Sometimes you want those stripped-down versions of songs versus like maybe doing too much. And this one sounded kind of like a coming of age, like the beginning of the song she's talking about playing cards with someone, and then towards the second half of the song, she's talking about like being on a hill and everything changing, everything going down these slopes. This was a very story-driven song about growing as a person, not being a kid anymore, and being able to like face adulthood. That's how I interpreted it.
Song number 5 is Crawling in My Skin.
Crawling in my skin.
This song's a little bit more upbeat compared to the rest of the songs, but it is about sleep paralysis. The song is about sleep paralysis, and I feel like that kind of goes like with this journey of where this song is like, this whole album is leading to, but it does lead into the next song, but I will get to that after Lupe goes to hers.
Next song on this album is called Darkness Forever, which is kind of not surprising considering a lot of the content that Soccer Mommy writes about. It's about battling your demons, battling with depression, and I remember this one being maybe the darkest song on the album because of how moody the whole like space of the production was. The line that spoke to me the most was Darkness Forever, cold sinking ocean. So it's like you're like drowning in every single thought and every single thing that's bringing you down, and I remember that song probably hit me the most.
The next song on my album is also a heavy hitter, but you don't realize it until, like, I kind of did a little bit more research on this song as well. It's called Yellow is the Color of Her Eyes. And usually you kind of compare the color yellow to something a little bit more brighter, a little bit more happy, and it's a really beautiful song. But the song is about Soccer Mommy's mother and how she had a terminal illness, and it's basically about her slowly dying. She talks about like how her like the whites of her eyes start yellowing. But yeah, you don't realize that it's about dying really until the very end of the song, and it's really heartbreaking when you realize it.
Yeah, jaundice or like the yelling of your eyes comes from the organ failing. So I definitely, the first time I saw the title of the song, I was like, it's hard dealing with someone who has like a terminal illness and being able to visually see them deteriorating. So I like that she gave the visual aspect of it without being too gruesome. And I think that was very strong.
Yeah, it was, I mean, honestly, it was really heartbreaking just to read the, like, it's different listening to the song, but when you actually read the lyrics, it was very heartbreaking.
Next song on this album is called Don't Ask Me. I feel like the title is very self-explanatory. She doesn't want people asking her how she is. She doesn't want people asking her, like, different questions and prying into detail. She's basically saying, like, stop, like, I'm trying to get over this hump, and sometimes I have to do that on my own terms alone.
Just don't ask.
And just don't ask. And yeah, I don't have many notes on the song, but just don't ask.
Just don't.
Just don't ask me.
Next we have Up the Walls. It is the shortest song on the album, but it felt, even though it was a short song, it felt the most personal. It talks about like the anxieties that come with being in relationship with somebody for so long, in terms of like, do they still like me? Like, am I still the person that they fell in love with? And it just talks about anxiety, and she was able to pack such a big and relatable feeling into such a short song, which I really appreciated. All right, let's get to the ratings here at Queer Pre-Reviews. For our music episodes, we're going to be rating them out of 4 different categories for a grand total of 100. Since Lupe and I are dumb bitches and we messed up, we're just going to be rating Soccer Mommy as a whole.
Dumb bitches.
Let's start with the lyrics and meaning behind Soccer Mommy's songs.
And for the lyrics, we give it...
I give it a 10.
I give it a 10.
Oh, nice.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Soccer Mommy does a really great job of turning really meaningful, like sad, depressing lyrics into vibes. Yeah, I mean, A lot of them are definitely really hard hitting. You really had to listen to exactly what she was saying to realize like the deep messages that she was trying to basically show. And I think amazing job.
I'm also just a sucker for the literary devices that she uses, like metaphors, similes. I know like a lot of writers don't, or like a lot of new writers don't really appreciate it as much, but it just gives more storytelling like fluff to it that makes it sound great and makes you relate to it more. And next we're going to rate the vocals.
And for the vocals, I give her a 9.9.
I give her a 9. And I think I gave her a 9 just because like her vocals are great, but I feel like there are some times where I'm like, you could push it like a little bit more and give it a little bit more, maybe belt a little bit more, but for the most part, solid vocals.
The best way I can describe her vocals is like haunting yet beautiful, if that makes any sense. She kind of sounds like, I don't know the word for it, but she kind of sounds similar, like voice-wise, to Girl in Red a little bit.
More of like a more feminine Girl in Red, because she's more like her voice is a little more shrill to Girl in Red, but I could definitely see that. And definitely topic-wise, like what they write about,
yes,
very similar.
Yeah. But yeah, haunting yet beautiful in the best way. Next is instrumental and production quality.
And production, we give it
I give it an 8.5. I guess I'll go first then. I'm very big on like song identification, like when you first start playing a song. To me, a lot of the songs sounded a little bit similar, maybe just in this album, maybe in your album it's a little bit different, so I know I should listen to more Soccer Mommy. But as for mine, with like a small handful of like some of the songs, like I commented on like their intros and stuff, like I'm very big on identifying songs right away. And to me, if I put some of these on shuffle, I might confuse them with a different song.
And I totally understand that, but I think the reason that I gave her a 10 was because of the cohesiveness of all the songs. And for some people, I think you get stuck in a pattern of recreating the same thing and it not changing and your sound staying the same, you don't evolve. But with her, it kind of just works, because even if the main construct of the song sounds the same, the production is always like a little bit different here and there. And I don't know, for me, I thought it was cohesive enough that it worked, and I gave it a 10. Last but not least, our overall feelings for Soccer Mommy.
And for our overall feelings towards Soccer Mommy, I give it a 9.7. I am cool. Like I said, I haven't listened to all of Soccer Mommy's songs, so maybe if I do, it will be a 10 just like yours. And one of the main things I do like about Soccer Mommy's music, like I said, it really reminded me of like the same music you would hear in like a Life is Strange game or some like sort of indie movie, like some girl just woke up from her bed and the whole world is out together.
I feel like if Soccer Mommy was an artist back in the 90s, she'd be in a magazine like Kerrang, which was big for a lot of artists like Linkin Park and Nirvana, and just like that era of music. I love that era of music. And the funny thing is, I started listening to Soccer Mommy not because like I found her online, it's because I went to a concert in Asbury Park and they were playing her song in the background while we were waiting for the next band to come up. And like I'm kind of glad that kind of happened like organically, and I was like, oh, like this is cool. Like Shazammed it and it was like Soccer Mommy.
Soccer Mommy.
Kind of name of an artist is that, and so I've been listening to Soccer Mommy for now a year, and I think she's great, so 10.
If you're looking for more queer musicians to listen to, check out Soccer Mommy. All right, let's get to our QPR total. AJ, hit us with that gay shit.
All right, so Soccer Mommy comes in at 96% out of 100, putting it at a gay plus.
Yay, a gay plus. I mean, I kind of saw that one coming. This album, my album, your album sounded pretty lit. Not gonna lie, maybe I'll go listen to it later. Maybe we won't mess up next time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us in another episode of QPR. Make sure you check out Soccer Mommy. We have a bunch of important links down below in the description. Make sure you subscribe, like us, follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Mommy, sorry.
Mommy?
Sorry.
Mommy?
Sorry.
Mommy?
Sorry.
Mommy?
Sorry.
Soccer?
Soccer, Mommy.
Soccer Mommy?
Am I cutting? Or?
That's up to you.